All right, Retro Jersey Podcast, episode 16. Larry Guest is in here.
Finally.
How y'all feeling?
Sorry, I've been gone for so long.
We
I'm back though.
Gotta get your perspective on some things for sure.
Let's get it.
Before we get into what's happening lately, this is some news coming in today. Andre Drummond, he's gonna not play with Cleveland anymore. They're trying to figure out what they're gonna do with him. So he's just like not gonna play anymore now.
He's not. He chose not to play. Like he
No,
chose
the team talked to them. That's what they're choosing to do. Like they're trying to trade him. Like that's the thing. So just chill out, type shit. And then Blake Griffin, same thing. Blake Griffin is not playing anymore until they figure out what to do with him.
Yo, Brooklyn. if they don't mind taking pay cuts, both of them going to Brooklyn, that might be game over. You said what?
I said that's interesting.
If they like, because you know how people be coming together. If I could see, like, if they were like, yo, we need, each of them was like, yo, I want a chip right now, take some pay cuts and get to Brooklyn, that could be nasty. Yeah, I didn't even think about the fact that they're getting traded and not like free agents. So I don't know what their contracts are looking like, but I guess I was saying in free agency, like, do they both still have multiple years?
I know that the Andre Drummond situation, I think they're working on a buyout. No, Blake Griffin situation, they're working on a buyout. Andre is supposed to be traded. So I know with Blake Griffin, I don't think contract can matter that much because it would just be a remaining of the year type of contract, I believe. So yeah, the thing about that is because obviously buyouts, you pay a lot less than what you would pay for the person. Blake Griffin to the Nets, I wouldn't agree with just because they don't need more shooting. They don't need more people that can score. They need
True.
If that was them, they have to go after Andre Drummond instead. But I don't know how comfortable. I don't see Andre Drummond. I don't know how that fits. It would be interesting, but I think that would be a better pickup for the Nets. For Blake Griffin, he could definitely go to like. I don't know where Blake Griffin will fit in. Honestly, I really don't.
Maybe Golden State.
Okay.
I could see Golden State. I could see Phoenix. Phoenix would be a good spot for Blake Griffin too.
That would.
But him and Chris Paul, they already kind of had they falling out, so that's something to think about. Maybe even Houston. Houston could be interesting with Blake. Like with all kind of that, they got a lot of like, I don't know the term. I can't think of the term right now, but like people that are like, fighting their way back in the league per se, or like trying to fight their way back to.
It's like the comeback team.
Yeah, like I could see him going there and kind of meshing well with John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins. He got options, especially if they buy him out. He can then choose where he wants to go.
Yeah, if he gets bought out, he can choose where he wants to go. So it's interesting. I mean, I don't know why, but I feel like New York Knicks, they're always newly kind of like in a discussion kind of.
True.
I don't know if you buy yourself out to go to the Knicks. I'm not sure. Toronto is also an option, but I don't think anybody wants to go to Toronto. And then Miami. Miami would be interesting for Blake.
Miami would be.
That could really be a nice fit.
Ooh, I didn't even think of Miami. That could be nasty.
Yeah, if they can just keep him and don't have to lose anybody because it's a buyout, that would be, I think that's beautiful.
That might be the perfect place because, like, if I'm Blake Griffin, I'm not worried about payouts. I'm not worried about making the most that I've made in my career right now. Like, I'm worried about a championship. And if he gets bought out, he needs to make a move to a championship contending team. He doesn't need to go to a Cleveland Cavaliers or like the Wizards or something like that. Like, he needs to go to a team that's going to be competing for a chip. And almost a team where he can just kind of fill in rather than like being a primary role. And kind of not necessarily take a back seat, but kind of chill out a little bit this year and just kind of be that, that sixth man almost, or just a really solid complimentary, not star, but like complimentary, all-star per se. Because he needs to be thinking about championships now at this point. His time is running out.
Let's see, Blake Griffin's age. 31 years old. Yeah, time right now. You got like it's So yeah, that'd be interesting. I think Warriors, Heat, those are the two biggest ones that be coming out with, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Um,
Yeah.
so off of that, going into the game that happened yesterday, Portland and Dallas. Very good game. Back and forth game for the most part. Portland was able to hold on to a lead against Dallas. Luka missed a late three, about as good as a look as you possibly can get to tie the game and missed it. He was beating himself up really bad about that, but I mean, he had 41 points as well. So, uh, how did you feel about these two teams between Portland and the Mavs going forward?
Mavs, like, it's interesting with the Mavs right now because like they are a good team and we clearly know what Luka is.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's like if they just aren't meshing or what's going on, but they're not winning the games that they should win.
Mm-hmm.
Luka go for 41. You got to win that game. Like you got to go. You got to win that game. And they had a chance, but like you said, he missed the three, and it was a good three. So that's just not going in. But you gotta, I don't know, you gotta do better. Like as a Mavs, especially to be where you were last year, one of the most efficient teams in the NBA. You have to, you got to kind of get it together. Blazers have been looking very good, like in the last month and a half. Much better than I would have guessed this year because I kind of wrote them off this year.
Mm-hmm.
They looks he looks ready, but I feel like we've seen this before in terms of like Portland looking like all right, cool, they might be about it, and then it comes playoff time and you really see like how much they're lacking compared to other teams, just in terms of like depth and skill. Like you got Day and you got CJ, but beyond that, it's like it almost kind of fizzles out.
I will say this year, because that has been the case with the Trailblazers for a while, like their current playoff streak, I feel like that's been the case. But I think the addition of Robert Covington and Derrick Jones Jr. I really like Derrick Jones Jr. on this team also.
Okay.
I feel like I think it's additional to what they have been lacking.
Okay.
Even Gary Trent Jr. I think is averaging 20 points this year. So it's like people are stepping up, and I think this might be the year. This will be the last year that we will see this happen. Because after this year, then it's like I give up all hope.
Okay. I feel that, and CJ hasn't been playing too, so that's been Melo, he had a good game. What, like a couple days ago, where he had like 14 in the second half, or in the fourth quarter, which was lit. So yeah, you might be right. I need to watch a little bit more of the Blazers to kind of get a more of a grasp, because I like I said, I wrote them off at the beginning of this year. They just been killing though. What do you think that says about CJ though? You think
I've been saying they need to trade CJ.
You think so?
I think the better the Blazers play without him, the more likely the more that I would say trade him.
And you can get a lot for CJ. He's a valuable piece.
He can hold his value. You can get somebody who can really be another additional player that's like not 6'4", somebody that's a little bit more defensive, has a little bit more defensive, capabilities.
Yeah,
because CJ is good, but he is undersized.
And he's not like the greatest defender. Like he does okay, but he's nowhere near like an elite defender or wing defender or anything like that. So you might be onto something. I never thought about it like, trade CJ, get him out of there. But I mean, the way that they are playing now without CJ, it's almost like they might be better off just getting some, just filling out that roster a little bit more, and get some depth on the perimeter in terms of defense.
Yeah.
So you might be onto something. It was a great game last night, though. Great game. Staps came back too, which was interesting. He didn't play well. I know our last podcast I was on, I know I was speaking highly of Staps, but he's not the same Staps that we've seen in previous years. So I don't know. I remember you guys were kind of telling me like, he may not be that unicorn anymore, and it's looking like it.
It's just the consistency, because I think, what was it, 2 games ago, he had hit like 6 threes in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh shit. But then he kept pulling, and I think for the next probably 7 threes, he went 1 for 6, 1 for 7. And I was just like, okay, so like, what was that? It was just like a flash. I don't know if you get that. So I don't know. No,
go ahead.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know if you trade him this early because he is somebody you don't want to say you traded, and then he goes
Yeah.
somewhere good. But there's going to be limits you're going to have with Chris Stapps. I know I can see
Yeah.
it. There's going to be limits.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. We definitely got to keep eyes out for Dallas, and see if they get it together. If they kind of stay on this path, it's not looking too hot, especially if they come in like fourth or fifth. They could get beat by some teams in the West in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't see them as title contender this year. I think that was kind of like an early hope that they'll be like one of those Western Conference Finals teams, but that's fading away. It looks like Luka will
They
get to
still
the
got
second round probably.
they still got to build. And Luka still got to grow up a little bit more. He killing, like he has a bright future ahead of him.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, you're right. It might have just been like that year, like just the excitement and kind of the craziness of the bubble and all that stuff that kind of put them on a different plane. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. They definitely not title contenders this year. Definitely not.
Yeah. So the doubleheader of that game was the Lakers versus the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Nuggets ended up beating the Lakers, but AD did get hurt. So two-part question, my thing is, one, how do the Lakers, you think, cope with a missing AD if it's for extended time? And two, um, can the Lakers win without AD being a top 5 player?
So I'm torn in between that because we've seen Bron do so much with Bron. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like at the end of the day, you still do have LeBron James. But it is a different league, and he's in the West now. Like you could do that stuff in Cleveland like 5-10 years, 5-6 years ago, when the league wasn't where it is now with just all the teams, and he's in the West. So it's gonna be tough. Now AD is only gonna be out for like 3 to 4 weeks, I think, with the it's an ACL strain or tear. What was it? Do you remember what it
I
was?
believe he has his MRI today, so I don't know who he has just yet. If it's a tear, he's going to be out for what, 2-3 months?
Yeah.
More. If it's a strain, probably 2 months. So it's going to be time.
Yeah, it's gonna be time. He hasn't been AD that we've seen last year though. This entire year. So he's kind of been a little bit of a shell of himself. He's missed a bunch of games this year already. So I think they've kind of learned how to deal with it. But at the same time, the Lakers, this goes back to the Lakers. They're not that deep. They're not like that good overall. They were just so top heavy. That just might be me being biased. Like Kyle Kuzma is now in the starting lineup, but with that being said, where are the points coming from off the bench? When LeBron needs to sit down, usually Kyle Kuzma will come in and be those points, the 16 points or 18 points off the bench just to let Bron kind of get his rest. Now he's starting. Who comes off the bench and becomes that shock factor,
You do have Taylor Horton-Tucker, which I'm not a huge on, but he contributes. He gets you at least 10 points.
He does.
You have Montrezl Harrell. I believe that he can at least get you 12 and 10 consistently off the bench, possibly. But I don't know if he'll be starting if AD were to be.
Nah.
No.
They putting Kyle in AD spot.
Okay.
Like they'll kind of flip between Kyle and LeBron, like between the power forward and small forward. They probably don't even have like a specific position for them now.
Okay.
With AD gone.
But then you have Wesley Matthews, I believe, comes off the bench.
Yeah.
There's some potential for some points, but I do understand they're a little bit thin. A little
thin. Like you got names, but it's like like I don't know if I'm
trusting. You want those names though.
You do. Like, yeah, you kind of do. Like Matthews, he's a little playoff tested. He's been a little playoff tested. But like, all right, let me just read these to you real quick. So Marcus Morris,
good.
Solid player. He did go 0 for 5, in last night.
But in the playoffs, I want Marcus Morris.
Yeah, I'll take that because he will hit a 3. He'll hit one of a 3 that could change the game. Absolutely. He does stretch the floor. Kyle Kuzma, we know what Kyle is. He's been playing much better. I will give him that because he started off this year kind of lost.
Yeah.
Kyle Kuzma, you got Montrezl Harrell, again, we know what Montrezl is. We know we're going to get. But when he plays those bigger dudes like the Yokes, the Jokic's and, you know, people like that, you could see kind of how his size is a detriment to him.
Maybe saw that last night. Jokic ate him up, you know.
Exactly.
He got triple-double, so.
And that's gonna be a matchup that you can see in the playoffs. Like, and then Marc Gasol is like he's like an iceberg out there, my G. Like he's not really able to keep up with like the pace of play now or something.
Look, you're a little heavy-footed.
Yeah, he's a little heavy-footed. He could occasionally hit that three, but for the most part, he gets in foul trouble way too easily. So a lot of times you see Montrez having to come in. And without AD, that's going to be tough because they'll be small. Remember how big of an issue that was before for them being like that small and not having that height down there. Quinn Cook, Wesley Matthews, you know, we kind of spoke about him. Alex Caruso, like, I don't know. like
oh, man.
It's cool to like him, but is he really changing your franchise? Is he really adding like wins to your franchise? I don't know.
He's a pesky. He reminds me of like Matthew Dellavedova for the Cavs. That's what he reminds me of. Like you love fucking with him, he gonna do something that's cold, but it's like he's not cold.
Yeah, that's the perfect thing. And then Horton Tucker. Like you said, I'm still not sold on him like being like a game changer or anything, but he is a solid player, like solid bench player. And then you got Jared Dudley, who didn't even play. So it's gonna be interesting for them. You got Bron at the end of the day. You still have a very good record. You're what, second, I think, in the Western Conference right now?
I believe so.
So, you know, if you could just weather the storm, maybe go like 50% while AD is out. You know, that'll keep the Lakers kind of in that upper echelon of the Western Conference. And then, you know, just hope that AD comes back. But the injury that he's gotten, like, now he's going to be a little bit more attentive in the way that he plays. We could see him start to become more of an outside player. And that's not really where his bread and butter is. And you can, like, I don't know. So I'm more so interested to see how Anthony comes back from the injury, and you know, to see if he's tentative or not, because you're gonna need AD playoffs. Like the Lakers are gonna need Anthony Davis to make a run in the playoffs for real.
So that's where the second part of the question comes in, because when he does return, if he's not a top 5 player, if he's like top 15, top 25, the Lakers aren't going to win a championship.
No, not at all. Not even come close.
Because AD has to be what they traded everybody away for, and like he can't be anything less than all of that. Like they gave him a lot to get him to make this run, so it's like it kind of sucks, but he kind of needs to be on some Embiid stuff, and I would take Embiid over Anthony Davis at this point.
I would too, even though they both kind of have the same
skill set,
somewhat of like the same player history and whatnot. But yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got to see how he comes back. I'm more interested to see that rather than what the Lakers do during this time, because I think it's pretty much already set in stone, like how the Lakers play now. Bron gonna have to step up. Like he gonna have to do him if they want to win during this time. Like Bron gonna have to go crazy every game, and that could hurt the Lakers too. Come playoff time, like Bron, you know, feeling a little fatigued and things like that. So it's gonna be interesting. I know Brown was a little hurt when he saw AD get injured yesterday. He was like, "Oh man,
go up the hill again."
Again,
damn.
I will say he's always had to. Like a lot of times, he's always had to climb up that proverbial hill. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. What you think though? How you feeling about that? During this time?
I think AD. Like I said, I'm waiting for him to return to see how he comes back. Because if he doesn't come back at like full strength and better than what we've seen so far this year, I'm a little bit weary, you know, Lakers reaching the finals then. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Kyle Kuzma will have to step up big time if that's the case also. And I don't know if that's going to happen for him this year. I think he's talented, but I don't see that jump in his career happening this year.
Yeah, not like that. Like what
Yeah.
he would need to be. He's not ready for that yet.
Yeah.
Um,
If he does, man, he's gonna be the next bright thing in the league. But I just don't know if he's gonna do that this year.
yeah. I mean, it is almost about time for him to start becoming that though.
Yeah.
If not already there, because he's been in for what, 4 years now?
This is his fourth year, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's about time, for you to start becoming that what was he, like the seventh pick in the draft too? What,
I think a little bit later.
a little bit
believe he's
later?
in like the 17th, 16th area. I believe so.
Okay, okay.
Um,
Um, oh, 27, my bad.
okay.
27. Oh, he got drafted by the Nets though?
I don't remember his draft day.
That's
I don't remember
crazy.
his
Yeah, no, I just peeped that. I didn't know he got picked by the Nets, so they traded for him. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah,
so
it'll be
yeah,
interesting though going forward.
absolutely, absolutely.
Um, Another player was having a good year. Zion. Zion scored 36 last night. Ended up being 14 15 from field. They end up losing, but this is like the second time in the past week and a half that he's missed like one shot and scored career highs. So I'll just give you the floor to say what you need to say about Zion.
Man, we already know how I feel about Zion. Like, it's tough. I mean, that's the look at like I think the front office of the Pelicans is starting to see like, all right, Lonzo, they almost ready to ship him up out of there.
Might come to the
Um,
Bulls also.
Lonzo and Bulls,
That's a growing heavily.
I like that. I do. I'm not mad at that. Like
Yeah.
I like Lonzo. He's not
Mhm.
playing well, but I like his physique. Like 6'6" long point guard. You can't really beat that. Um, but like I said, Zion does so much on so little attempts. And he gets his points so efficiently. Then you look at where the other shots are going. Bi, he's not as efficient as Zion, but is shooting more than Zion. So it's kind of
Can
like,
I comment on that part though?
go ahead, go ahead.
That's the part that I think is a little bit misleading because yes, Zion can make a shot in the paint. Once he gets in the paint, gets his shot up, more than likely he's going in, right?
Yeah,
The problem is though, most of the times when he's playing, if he can't get into the paint, then he's just he can't get into the paint. You know what I'm saying? He can't get that shot up because he can't get there. And that was my biggest thing with Zion. So you end up
okay.
getting with Brandon Ingram, who's the only person on the team besides Zion who can get a bucket, has to make these like one-on-ones or like array of different moves to try to get a shot up because we can't get into the paint.
Okay, I see that. And I'm not mad at that take because that is true. Like if Zion, like if you're right, if he can't like get that, get in the bucket or get that one-on-one kind of quick post spin or drop step or something like that, then yeah, it is kind of up to
Brandon,
Bi
hello.
to do that. So I don't know. I mean, it's also, I'm not putting all the blame on Brandon Ingram at all. Like they need more help all around. Um, so I don't know. They're kind of in a very tough spot right now with what they should, or like how they should proceed. I don't think trading Brandon is even on their minds. It shouldn't be if it is. Um, but I don't know that, like, they still young. I hate saying that, like, using that excuse, but that I'm gonna have to chalk it up to that. I don't know what more. Like I just
I
don't
don't.
even know where they.
I'm not going to let them off the hook. I think they're playing poorly, like horrible. They're underachieving. There's other young teams out here, like the Memphis Grizzlies, that are doing better than them. They have young talent and they have veterans on that team, and they still can't find a way to get it done. Veterans, you got Steven Adams, JJ, Eric Bledsoe, and then young stars, you got Lonzo, Zion, Brandon Ingram. Like there's talent on that team, and people are playing just as good at them, if not better, with less. They don't play
Yeah,
defense, and I don't know what they're doing offensively. I don't know what their offensive identity is. I
yeah,
don't know if it's like highlight based. I don't know if it's fast break based. But besides those two things, when the game you can't get a highlight or you can't get a fast break, they don't know what to do in half court. They don't.
Yeah, their half court offense sometimes is really lackluster. I agree with you on that. But can we attribute that to coaching?
Yeah, I don't like Sam Van Gundy. I've never liked Sam Van Gundy.
Yeah, so maybe that like, and I think we've all been kind of saying like they might need to adjust the coaching and kind of figure that out. Because they have the talent, they got the personnel. I think they have the personnel. Maybe if they get Lonzo, get a nice little piece for Lonzo. Like Lonzo is a true point guard, but maybe a more veteran point guard to kind of settle them down, almost similar to what the Clippers needed, like in terms of getting like a veteran point guard to control the offense and like chill people out when they need to. Because like you said, if Zion isn't getting that at the cup, then it's like all up to Brandon to make something happen. So yeah, I don't think Brandon gets enough slack. I don't cut him enough slack because that is kind of what it is.
And JJ Redick is playing horribly this year, so it's like you can
Yeah.
include that curl option. I think he's shooting like 27% from three.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa.
Yeah. Whoa. So
That's-
yeah, it's tough. It's tough for them this year. I don't know if they'll be. I had like hopes that they would be able to play the play in. I don't know if that's going to be possible this year because, like you said, Memphis is looking good, and just some of the other teams that are in line with them are looking a little bit better. See, I don't know. I think coaching. I would start with coaching. That would be my goal.
You can't fire him. You hired him 2 months ago. You can't fire him.
Yo, hold on. The Lakers fired Mike Brown after 2 games, Mike G. Remember Mike Brown?
Mike Brown is like, it was a gift for him to get that job. So like, nigga, don't fuck up. And I think they were like 0-6, and he got out.
Gee, they let go of him so quick. So it's tough, man. I'm not envious of being like the front office of the Pelicans right now.
I think it starts if you say Lonzo to the Bulls. I don't agree with the point guard thing. I think they have 2 lottery picks at point guard that they drafted are on the bench. So I don't agree with the veteran point guard. I think if you trade him to the Bulls, I would give you like Larry Markkinen.
I get.
Or
I guess
Wendell.
he stretches the floor. Like yeah. Like also, I'm not. Maybe Kobe. I'll take Kobe. I could.
No, I'm not getting you right. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that would be interesting. It would be very interesting to see who the Bulls would be willing to give up for Lonzo.
Yeah.
Now I do have a question. I know we had a lot of games that were like postponed or like canceled. How is that going to play into like records and things like that?
The second half of the season's schedule isn't out yet. They do it in the halves. So I'm pretty sure the second half will be addressed as far as who needs to play more and who needs to play less.
Okay. After the All-Star break?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense because it was a couple times I was looking like I was confused as to how they were going to be able to do that because some people have played like 22 games and some have played 34, so okay, that's going to be interesting. But yeah, I guess you can't fire a coach. But the coach needs to invoke something else in them because it's not working right now. Like they should easily be, top 7, maybe top 6 in the West. Just with all the talent that they do have, and they're not there. So Zion, my boy. But
that's the only thing. Zion, he's definitely doing his job. But this year, it's only gonna take them so far because when you watch them, it's like, yes, when he get into the paint or somebody don't have their feet set, he's scoring. Cool. But if somebody got their feet set and they got help in the paint, you can't do nothing. You gotta wait till the ball gets shot, try to get offensive rebound, which sometimes he do, but sometimes you don't,
Yeah. So if he could shoot, I see what you're saying. Like if he could had at least a midi, it'd be different. He does. Let me chill. Let me chill. Never mind. So yeah.
On a fight with the boys, I feel it. I wish I was in NBA. I was your favorite player. You come to bat every single time. Yeah. But it's just like sometimes people just fall short. It's fine.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I don't see them making the play-in games this year. And that's gonna be sad. That's gonna be sad to see. Sad to see.
It is what it is, though. I guess we could throw in the Bulls in right here, this segment. Um, yes, the Bulls are like 2 games out of playoff contention. And
Yeah.
that is I was looking at the schedule. We've lost like 9 games this year, but less than 4 points. Yeah, if we give us half of those, we're number 5th seed in the East.
That's like if you get 6 more points from, to Zach or like one other person, that's a difference in the game. That's interesting.
So it's just like we have lost a lot of close games, which is very exhausting. But we are in a lot of games with teams that we don't deserve to be in games with. So it's just like I need them to get it together and then go. But it's taking some time. I mean, Laurie and Wendell just got hurt again. But then again, I like how we're playing without them. We don't even have a center. We have one center, and we playing good. It's like you gotta. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do around this trade deadline because I think they're gonna make a move, and I think it's gonna help us get into the playoffs.
What kind of move would you like them to make?
Personally, I think we should trade either Laurie or Wendell.
Laurie or Wendell?
Yeah, or possibly both. But that got to be addressed because they are just not. They're not enough. I don't think they do enough. I don't think that they're living up to the value that we put in on them.
Yeah, I definitely I think we had high expectations for Laurie. I definitely did. And yeah, he hasn't been really doing what he needs to do. But he could be so good because he's a tall wing like shooter, like he can play the wing. So maybe if he could come back and just try to get it together, it'd be something special. Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see what they do come like the trade deadline. How many more days until the trade deadline? Do you know?
March 23rd is the trade deadline. Yeah, so we got like a good month. I like how the team is playing, like I said, without them. There's a Valentine. I gotta ease up on the pressure on him because he's actually coming through. He could be a possible good trade asset, but I'm not even mad if they keep him at this point. He's really playing well. Obviously Zach and Kobe. And Thaddeus Young too. Like he's playing well? He's been playing well. I like him in that 4 position. He's an agile 4 and can make good passes from the post. Like I like him in that position. He plays well.
That's interesting. Okay.
So yeah, that's why I'm at the Bulls.
I want to see them make the playoffs. I'm not mad at that. Because like I said, they've been playing well. They've been playing well like lately. And I didn't know the stat that like they have lost most of their games by like, what'd you say, like 4 points or something like that?
Yeah, 4 points.
Yeah, like that's a telltale sign. Like you got something. Yeah. It's not like that they're just bad. Like they got something. So maybe, come playoff time or trade deadline, make some good trades. And if they make it properly, they might be able to make a little noise in the playoffs. Them playing the same team, like in a 7-game series, could actually benefit them.
Yeah.
Because like one thing that Zach has always said is like their youth needs to be their kind of their advantage over like the teams that have veterans and just a more cohesive unit. Like they are young. They're one of the youngest teams in the league, I think. So come playoff time, they could really make some noise. They would be a scary seed to play in the playoffs.
Especially for the East, because it's not like there's like a dominant team in the East right now. Like it's pretty so I don't think nobody's walking to the playoffs like, oh, I can beat anybody. I don't think anybody in the East is doing that this year.
Yeah, so they could be scary. They might be able to make a little noise. And I know Zach is hungry.
Yes.
I know Zach is hungry. So we haven't seen Zach in the playoffs in a minute, have we?
I don't think we've ever seen Zach in the playoffs.
Yeah, I was about to say in Minnesota, he may not have ever made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yo, Zach would be scary in the playoffs, like on some like Kobe type scary. Like I could see him really.
He might drop a 50-piece.
You said what?
I said he might drop a 50-piece.
Yeah, I could see that, and it wouldn't surprise me if he did. So Bulls, I'm pulling for him. I'm not the biggest Bulls fan, but I am pulling for them. because I feel like they could make some noise and really shock some people. So we'll see. We'll see come trade deadline.
Into little thing. Shit. The last two top point guards picked in the draft between Lamelo and John Morant. Obviously, John Morant won the Rookie of the Year last year. Looks like Lamelo Ball is on the way to winning the Rookie Year this year. So going forward for your franchise, which one would you pick, Lamelo Ball or John Morant?
I'm still taking Ja. I'm still gonna take Ja because Ja is like I like Ja, and with Ja, the reason I like him more because he plays like he got a chip on his shoulder. Because he came into college as a no-star recruit, and is doing that. So I love that type of story. I'm taking Ja, but LaMelo's shocking me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, and I do enjoy seeing him like get off. Like it's really nice to see because it looks like he just purely just has fun out there. Like he just enjoys the game. So I'm taking Ja, but I'm not gonna be surprised if LaMelo is just as good. Because he's a great point guard. Like he's a great point guard. I like that he takes chances. Like I enjoy watching point guards like that. Almost like a Steve Nash kind of Jason Williams type. Like he'll try to fit that in there. It may not always work, but I like the fact that he's even trying that. And his shot, he has a set shot, and he can still hit that. Like he can still hit the three, and he plays with like he just plays with joy. So I do enjoy that. LaMelo's gonna be a problem, I think, come next couple years because he's what 6'6" or 6'7".
I think he's 6'7". Yeah.
6'7".
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's definitely playing better than his brother. I'd be curious to see how his brother kind of feels right now. Like seeing LaMelo take off, like we were expecting Lonzo to take off. Like this is what we expected Lonzo to be.
Yeah.
And LaMelo's kind of doing that, and they're winning. Like Charlotte's winning. I'm not gonna say he's the only reason why, but he's definitely a reason why they're winning. He's had a couple of amazing games so far. So I'm taking Ja, but LaMelo he's gonna be a great player. Great player.
I'm gonna take LaMelo.
You taking Melo?
I'm gonna take LaMelo. Simply
Okay.
because LaMelo does have that range already. He can pull up near logo and smack that. Now the percentage wise probably needs to increase a bit, but the capabilities to do that is there. And also just being 6'7" at 20 years old and moving like that. Once he gets some muscle, once he start really coming into his own, he's gonna be unstoppable on offense, I feel like.
Okay.
I feel like there's nothing you can do with him once he really hones in all his skills and gets bigger.
I'm not mad at that. Cause you're probably right. He is only 20 years old, and it's only upside. It's only upside.
So I'm not gonna sleep on Ja because I do respect Ja and all he's done for Memphis with like little to no help. He's really put that team on the map himself. But it's just the certain limitations that he has right now that LaMelo doesn't. The only reason why I'll take him over Ja.
Okay.
That's one reason.
I feel that. Yeah, LaMelo, you're right. LaMelo, I wasn't even really thinking about the future. LaMelo is gonna be a problem. When he gets swole, like he grows into that body and
still like moving like that, still passing like that. And it's like, oh shit.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. I want him to get a couple more assists. Maybe that'll change, like average more assists. Maybe that'll change when he starts. Because he's doing all this off the bench too.
Yeah.
Which is scary. So you might be right. I'm not mad if you are right, because like I said, I like watching it. And they might even make the playoffs this year. So
that's fun.
It'd be crazy to see him in the playoffs.
That's a nice young team too. They're a fun team.
They are. They just look like they have fun. It's you don't feel any egos. Like I'm okay, or I know they are like okay with having Gordon Hayward be like the top man, because he's not even like he don't even seem like he's trying to do that. Like
he's not like that guy at all.
Yeah.
Contract.
Exactly.
I'm like getting paid for everything. It's like just ask Gordon to come so he can pay for this shit.
He'll happily do it. His pleasure. Like it'd be his pleasure for sure. Um, so yeah, I like it. Lamelo has a bright future ahead of him. Um, so it'll be good. I guess it'll be interesting to see like Ja Morant and kind of Lamelo and how they each, or compare a couple years down the line. But yeah, I see Hornets making playoffs this year. Um, they seem like they're really getting it together, and they're first in their division. I didn't even realize that.
Who else is in their division?
I'm about to check right now.
Charlotte. So that's the Heat, I believe.
So yeah, you got Miami, Atlanta, Orlando, Washington.
Mm. So you got Hornets beating out the Hawks with your boy Trae Young.
Man, my boy Trey. I don't know what's going on with the Hawks right now.
You want to have a
Um,
Trae Young Luka discussion now, or do you
not
want to
yet.
wait till you get a win?
We gonna wait. They're on a 3-game losing streak right now. We gonna wait on that.
Okay.
We gonna hold on. So yeah, no, like I'm not mad at Charlotte. I'm mad at Atlanta. Trust me on that. They need to get it together, but I'm not mad at Charlotte. They can make playoffs, and they might be a little scary team because they could either be a scary team or just really not ready for the playoffs. Um,
That's true.
yeah,
Wait,
like I could easily see them also getting busted like come playoff time,
yeah.
depending on where they finish off. So it'd be good. But if they make the playoffs first year, they haven't been in playoffs ever, have they? Like since Michael's taken that team over.
Well, they went twice as the Bobcats. Um, since it's been back in Charlotte with the Hornets, I don't believe so.
Yeah. So
Yeah, because
it,
Kemba
it's
never reached the playoffs, so no, yeah,
yeah, this would be a big year. I know Michael. I know Michael happy.
you got one, you got
Yeah,
one.
he got one. He got one.
Um, we can get into. Oh, also on the Hawks, they're shopping John Collins around. Also,
What?
yes, they're shopping.
Why?
Hey man,
That's.
you're not cutting it, bro. They're not
I
cutting.
mean, let him grow. Like John is a piece. That's a piece.
It costs money.
Um.
That's what people don't understand. This shit costs money. People can't be wasting those seasons, G. People's jobs is riding on you doing your job. Like, I ain't trying to get
True.
fired, bro. You gotta go.
True. That's crazy though. I mean, damn. That's sad, man. Because John is nasty.
And he might not
Um.
get traded, but I know they're listening. So
I don't know why. Now Okongu, I don't know why they don't play him more.
yeah, I'm not
Um.
sure. I don't know what that's about.
I really don't because he's a solid player. Like I feel like he could add some stuff right away. Um, and it's not even like he's injured or something. He just doesn't play.
Maybe he's just not good enough yet.
I guess he USC though. You know how we are from USC. Like, come on,
Yeah, I do.
let him, let him play. Let him play. But yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. That's crazy. I didn't know that. That's kind of sad. I hope he doesn't go because I think they got something, but they need to get it together. They need to
Sure.
get it together.
We can get into top 3 MVP candidates.
This
I'm gonna
year?
start. Yeah, I'm gonna start with my 3. One. I'm gonna work backwards. So
Okay.
3, I think I'm gonna put Donovan Mitchell.
D?
I'll put him
He
third.
not-
MVP.
Hey, I feel that. I'm not mad.
Second, I'm gonna put Jokic.
Okay.
And first is tough. First is very tough. I want to go with like LeBron, but then I kind of want to go to KD.
Okay.
I'll say KD LeBron is the thing on that.
Okay. I like the Donovan. I really like Donovan. So I'm gonna say James Harden though for number 3 for me.
Okay.
Because I really like what he's able to do. I know he's playing with KD and Kyrie, but for him to be able to be that role that he plays, being that primary point guard and getting off in that position and being able to facilitate, I really like that a lot. So I'm gonna go with him at 3. I'm going with Donovan Mitchell at 2.
Okay.
and then one is tough. I want to give it to KD. I just don't think he'll play enough games this year to even be in that running. But I gotta go with Yoke. Jokic is balling, like balling. And then the Nuggets aren't like they're looking good. They could be looking better, but they're looking good. See, I'm gonna go with Yoke at number 1, Donovan at number 2, and then James Harden at number 3. It's crazy that Utah is killing it like they are right now. Like they are killing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Shaq lit the fire under somebody.
You said what?
Shaq lit the fire under Donovan or something because they took that personally.
Yeah, very personally. They're gonna be scary playoffs. They're gonna be a very scary team come playoff time because they are beating people. Like it's not like a question.
Are you buying it though?
I am. They be beating people like
they do.
But I understand you. Like, are you? Trust me, I'm not mad at you asking that because it's like, it is them, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm buying it right now. I'm buying into it. I like him. Donovan's looking good. I'm a huge Donovan Mitchell fan. I used to call him the next Kobe like a couple years ago. So yeah, we'll see. I'm buying it right now.
That's fair.
But yeah, I'm not mad at your list at all though. I couldn't give it to Bron though. Even though Bron is killing, I don't know. He's just not.
I think the AD injury is gonna affect it for sure. If he steps his game up, and if AD gets hurt, he steps his game up, then they have to give it to him.
Yeah. If they win like 75% of their games while AD's out, you got to give it to him. All right.
We're gonna get into the retro trifecta. This week we're gonna focus on the favorite retro series. So, what's your favorite retro NBA playoff series?
I'm going. Did somebody say? I don't know if somebody said this, but the Ray Allen 3 Spurs Heat.
No, I don't believe so. Finals?
Yeah, I'm calling that one the one that saved LeBron's legacy. I'm calling that series.
That's big facts.
Yeah. I was watching that yesterday, man. Or just watching some highlights from it. Do we fault Greg Popovich for taking Tim Duncan out enough?
I'm not gonna do that. You're talking about a game 6 or 7? I think it was 6.
7. The one Ray Allen hit 7, right? That was
He's 6.
Okay.
So
that game.
Yeah. So I don't fault Greg Popovich only because the Spurs were tweaking a lot in the last minute. No, everybody was tweaking. I think Tim Duncan missed a free throw or 2. Kawhi did something stupid. I think Manu did something. They all tweaked in the last minute. So I don't put that so much on Greg Popovich, no.
Okay. Because I was thinking I did forget about that. It was like a full scale of tweaking going on. But I was just thinking man, if they would have had Tim Duncan in there, maybe he could have stopped. Chris Bosh may still have gotten a rebound, but it would have been a little tougher, taking off a little bit more time to where Ray wasn't able to backpedal or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's gonna be my retro series today. Lost so much money on Ray Allen hitting that shot too.
Yeah, I was rooting against the Heat so much.
Yeah.
My favorite retro series is gonna be the D Wade versus the Hornets. I think that was his first year going to the playoffs, and that was Baron Davis was there at the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was D Wade coming out party, and that was huge. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be a problem. So that was a big series.
I like that. That's a good one.
Lonzo was on that team and everything. So yeah.
Yo, Baron was going crazy that series too.
Yeah, he was. Baron Davis.
Didn't he have wasn't a 38 or 40 point game in that series?
I'm sure he did. Baron Davis don't get enough respect. He was nasty. Very nasty.
Don't. He was very nasty.
So yeah, make sure you guys follow Retro Jersey Podcast on Instagram. Make sure you follow and subscribe and YouTube, all that stuff.
Do it all. We need it.
Yeah, we need
Get
it.
it.
Share it to your friends. Share it to IG, on Facebook, everything. Get everybody involved.
Miles is working so hard. You guys have to follow.
Putting in overtime. But shit, that has been episode 16. Every guest, Jamal, we out of here.
All right, my boy. Peace.
All right, peace.